Hello and welcome to Stained Glass Gaming, where I turn video games into glass. I'll be continuing to work on the Monster Hunter World weapon icons. Next up is the Greatsword, Insect Glaive, Light Bowgun, Bow, and Hunting Horn. This episode will focus more on the soldering and painting process, since I didn't have enough time last episode to explain some things. I've been playing World to prepare for Iceborne, and finally, after 400 plus hours, I was able to get a Gunlance specific Streamstone. I've been trying to get one forever, because I main Gunlance. Now I need to figure out which Gunlance to augment. I try and go for the health augments, because I like staying alive and can focus on dealing more damage. I'm more of a defensive player, and like tanking the hits with the shield. Is it the best way to play? Probably not. Do I have fun and enjoy the way I play? Absolutely. If you've seen my previous videos, you'll know that I recently learned to do a beaded edge around the entire outside edge of my projects. This adds more strength to the overall project, rather than just tinning the edge like I used to do. I also have raised solder lines in between each piece of glass. However, since I'm gluing glass on top of glass, I don't have raised solder lines on the back of the icons. This is because if the solder lines were raised, the glass wouldn't sit flat and would be more difficult to glue and have it sit level. The solder lines in front are raised, and since the back is glued to the glass, there shouldn't be a problem, as long as I apply enough glue. This is also the reason why I don't bead the edges of the weapon icons. Here is how I line up the weapon icons. I use the paper pattern and painter's tape. I put tape on the glass and make sure some of it will match up with the lines. I put the pattern over it and tape it down so it doesn't move. With an X-Acto knife, I cut through the paper and tape, tracing the lines as I go. I keep cutting it until I don't feel the tape. Remove the paper and look for the cut marks on the tape. I remove the inner part of the tape because I only want the outside edges to help me align the icons. This will at least help me center the icons, so it looks better than if I were to just guess. Once I glue all the icons down and let them sit for 20 minutes, I remove the tape. Last time, I let the glue set before I removed the tape, which led to some of the tape getting stuck under the glass. This time, I can at least move the icons slightly to remove all the tape, then move the icons back where they were. I let the glue set for 24 hours and get ready to paint on the insect glaive, greatsword, and hunting horn. I use the pattern to cut out the circles for the greatsword and insect glaive. The hunting horn is a little more complex. The lines are so thin that it was a little difficult to cut the tape and keep the lines intact, like with the X on the lance. I use acrylic paint made specifically for glass. The better paint to use would be enamel, but I was only able to get acrylic. I did a lot of tests when I was painting the first set of icons and found that removing the tape while the paint was wet is the best way to get decent results. I didn't dilute the paint with water because when I tried that, the paint was too thin and bled under the tape. I didn't want brush strokes because it would look bad, so I tried dabbing the paint using the end of the paintbrush covered with a paper towel. This worked okay. Probably could be better, but since I don't paint on glass very often, it'll work for now. If the paint dries too much, it will stick to the tape and not the glass, and since the paint dries quickly, I can't wait too long between applying the paint and removing the tape. I let the paint dry for at least 2 days before I move it, to make sure the paint won't run when I hang it in the window. I'll have to let the paint air dry for 21 days for it to fully set. I could also bake it in the oven, but I don't, because these aren't going anywhere anytime soon. I did have some trouble with the white paint on the greatsword. There are tiny little air bubbles present, and that may be because of how I applied the paint, but I can't do anything about it now, so oh well. There also looks like there may be some chipping on the top edge of the hunting horn. It was black, but maybe the painter's tape stripped off some of the patina and solder, which is kind of weird in itself because it shouldn't do that. I could see the tape taking off the patina, but not the solder. I could fix it, but I have a feeling it might make it worse than if I just left it. It happened with the Yu-Gi-Oh card, so I don't want to mess with this one. I really like how these all turned out. I haven't picked a favorite yet because I have 4 more icons to make. Once they are all made, I might have a favorite. Which one of these is your favorite so far? Let me know down in the comments or on Twitter. Like, share, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment if there's something you want me to make, and I'll see you all through the next pane.